Hello, this is Sally L. Cordy. I am about to interview Tina about the bus ride we're taking today. We're going to close down the nuclear power plant at Indian Point, and Tina is very informed in this regard. What is your last name, Tina?
Posterly.
Postery, and what organization are you with?
I'm with Riverkeeper.
And would you like to give the website?
Yes, it's riverkeeper.org.
Okay, please tell our listeners what points you are going to be making today.
Well, today is important because it's the first time that the public is going to, first and the last time until the relicensing hearings in the fall, that the public has to tell the NRC what really matters in the issue of the relicensing of Indian Point. Tonight we are going to try to make our voices heard as New Yorkers, as people who live closest and have most at stake about this outdated old power plant that is Indian Point, and why it should not be rubber stamped by the NRC in a relicensing this fall. There are major issues that need to be included in the relicensing hearing that the NRC has not brought to the table and is not allowing into the relicensing hearing this fall, including evacuation planning. There is currently a 10-mile evacuation plan that is an absolute disaster, doesn't even work at all, let alone there's no 50-mile evacuation plan within a 50-mile radius, which we are learning is so significant since Fukushima has been unfolding. So we're really trying to bring that to the table and to be heard seriously and addressed in a very meaningful way by the NRC, as well as the earthquake risk. There's nothing on the table yet by the NRC for earthquake risk and seismic standards. They say that it's not an urgent issue, but it is a very urgent issue in light of what we've been learning from Fukushima. And the third issue that is very important is fire regulations, and as far as accidents, and the report that just was released by NRC about Indian Point and their assessment on May 13th, they flat out said that there were some glaring safety issues that need to be addressed, yet there's no time frame for when these issues are going to be addressed, and again, the issues are not going to be present in the relicensing hearing this fall. So we're really trying to make our voices heard as the people and to put an end to this culture of complicity, as the New York Times has called it, by the NRC.
Well, a question I asked Tina earlier was what percentage of energy does the Indian Point power plant provide New York with?
Well, through studies that we have done through Riverkeeper, and it's not a study by Riverkeeper, it's an assessment of the National Academy of Sciences study, we have come to the figure of 12.5%, which is quite lower than the figure that Entergy throws around there. And Entergy throws around any given day between 20 and 30%, and that's just not the facts.
So this is a modest conservation for the average New Yorker.
It can be a conservation issue. We understand replacement power is a significant issue, and the talks about that are going on, and we are looking to a renewable energy future such as wind and solar to put onto the table. We are working with other groups to assess that. That is not, something that has come to the forefront yet as far as a full-out plan, but it is something we all are working toward.
Now, if you have one message to the commissioners for the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, who will be hearing all of us this evening, what would that one message be?
It would be to stop relicensing proceedings for all plants across the country, to do independent assessment of plants across the country, especially for Indian Point, and into a relicensing hearing, allow the independent assessment to be submitted, because we are certain that if a fair trial were to take place, a fair relicensing hearing, there's no way Indian Point would be relicensed and it would be closed.
Thank you very, very much. I'd like to put your poster up. Could you hold on a second? Hold on.
Okay, so I'll do this first.
I'm going to tape this now for about a minute.
Okay.
You are looking at Indian Point Power Plant. This sign quite vividly says no Indian Point Power Plant or shut it down. And Tina has just told you the many reasons that this makes very good sense. And if you'll flip that over, not worth the risk. Well, this is why everybody's on this bus today, to inform the Nuclear Regulatory Commission that Indian Point Power Plant is not worth the risk. Thank you, Tina.
Thank you.
Hello, this is Sally Elcorti. I'm on a bus to go to a hearing for Indian Point Power Plant, and I'm going to have a song sung to me by?
Gregory.
By Gregory.
I've lived all my life in this country. I love every flower and tree. I expect to live here till I'm 90. It's the nukes that must go and not me. It's the nukes that must go and not me. The nukes that must go and not me. I expect to live here till I'm 90. It's the nukes that must go and not me.
Thank you, Gregory. Okay, I'm Sally Elcorti. I'm here interviewing. What is your name?
My name is Barrett Silver, and as you can see by the condition of that sign, it's kind of raggedy. It's because it's old. I've had it for about 10 years now, and I'm pretty sick and tired of having to come to these NRC meetings and hear about how safe the Indian Point nuclear plant is. These meetings are basically a charade, and the biggest farce is that the main person, corporate entity that should be here is Entergy, and they're shielded by the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, who comes here and pretends
Entergy is here tonight. Do you know that?
Yeah, but they're not called to task for what they're doing. It's the NRC that sits up there on the board and pretends to explain to the public that they're doing their job to keep us safe.
Now, Entergy is a private industry, so they have privatized the nuclear industry?
No, I mean, Entergy is a publicly held company.
But it is a company. It's a corporation.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm just saying that it's the Nuclear Regulatory Commission that does the dirty work for them. They should be held to account for all of the things that they get away with. The leaking tritium into the Hudson River, into the groundwater, the lack of safety about the fire issues, the lack of ability to evacuate the area in case there were a terrorist attack. There's, multiple reasons why this plant should have been closed over 10 years ago. And the fact that there's folks from our government here that pretend that it's safe and pretend that they're acting in our best interest is shameful.
Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Well, I think that it's time that people realize that, unfortunately, what happened in Japan at the Fukushima plant is a wake-up call. And we can't pretend anymore that we're living with a safe, secure, and vital plant in our backyard. It's not safe, it's not secure, and we need to find a way to replace the energy that it produces so that we can live without this nuclear nightmare in our backyard.
Thank you. What's your name again?
Barrett Silver.
Barrett Silver. What a pleasure. Thank you so very much. We will not be silent. I like it.